Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. I hope you're doing well. Today we're talking about something that can truly change your life. How to make more money. Not through shortcuts, not through luck, but through powerful truths that most people are never told. If you've been stuck, struggling, or just tired of not having enough, this video is for you. You're broke. And maybe you're not just broke in your bank account. Maybe you're broke in your confidence, broke in your energy, broke in your belief that life can ever be different. And no one talks about this version of being broke because everyone is busy pretending. Let's be real. You're tired of watching other people win. You're tired of fake gurus selling you shortcuts. You're tired of working hard and still not having enough. But here's the truth nobody will tell you. No one is coming to save you. Not your job, not your degree, not your family, not your government, not your goddamn horoscope. If you don't decide to become rich, in mind, in skill, in focus, you will live and die in the same cycle of fear, salary, bills, and regret. And I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about building a life where you are free. Free from fear. Free from begging. Free from playing small. Because let's be honest, you don't want money just for the numbers. You want money because you want control over your life. This video isn't about get rich quick. This is about never being broke again. And don't just watch this video. Feel every word. Let it shake you. Let it offend you. Let it wake you up. Because you deserve to live a powerful life. But that life is waiting on the other side of brutal honesty and uncomfortable truth. Let's begin. Rule 1. Train your brain to make more money. Your brain is the headquarters of your money, but most people have never trained it for wealth. Your brain is either a money machine, solving problems, thinking clearly, and spotting opportunities, or a money blocker, full of fear, excuses, procrastination, and limiting beliefs. The truth is, you're not broke because of your wallet. You're broke because of your mindset. And here's the scary part. Your brain doesn't care if you're rich or poor. It only cares about what you train it to believe, repeat, and chase. If your brain is trained to survive, it will avoid risks. If your brain is trained to complain, it will find problems. If your brain is trained to consume, it will stay lazy. But if you train it to focus, if you train it to build, solve, sell, and lead, then money starts coming to you. Not because it's magic, but because your mind becomes a magnet for value. Example, Liam had no money, no good family, and no lucky breaks. But he had one thing. He was sick of feeling poor. So every day before doing anything else, he trained his mind. He read just one page of a smart book. He said to himself, I will become valuable. He learned one new word in English. He practiced thinking, not just scrolling. He asked himself, what skill can I learn that the world will pay for? And slowly, his brain changed. He stopped comparing. He stopped waiting. He started building. And within 3 years, he was making money online, just by using the knowledge in his head. Now he's not rich by luck. He's rich because he trained his mind like a weapon. While other people were busy scrolling, sleeping, or complaining, you can't make rich decisions with a poor thinking brain. If your mind is lazy, your money will disappear. If your brain is trained for comfort, it will reject growth. Most people are not broke. They're just mentally soft. How to start training your brain. Even if you're broke, write one money-making idea daily. Even if it's bad, Train your brain to think in value, not gossip. Replace entertainment with education for 1 hour daily. YouTube can teach you more than school, if you choose wisely. Use English daily, not just for learning, but for thinking. Write journal entries, talk to yourself, watch content. English is the language of opportunity. Say this every morning. I am becoming valuable. I am becoming unstoppable. I am training for wealth. Ask better questions, not why am I broke, but how can I provide more value to the world today? If you don't train your mind to make money, someone else will train it to spend money. And you'll be broke forever. Train your brain like your life depends on it. Because it does. Your job is not just to work. Your job is to think better, learn faster, and stay sharper. This is Rule 1. And it's the root of everything. If this rule doesn't change, nothing else will. Rule 2. Money follows value, not effort. This rule will offend a lot of people, especially the ones who've been working hard their whole life and still feel broke. But sometimes the truth has to hit you in the chest before it can save you. The world is not fair, but the economy is brutally honest. And it doesn't care how hard you work. It only cares how valuable you are. You can wake up at 4 a.m., sweat for 10 hours, carry bricks, clean toilets, break your back, and still not make enough to breathe freely. While someone else sits at a desk for 3 hours, makes one decision, writes one line of code, closes one deal, and earns in a day what you make in 6 months. That's not because life is unfair. It's because of this rule. Money doesn't care about effort. It chases value. And value means you solve a real problem. You do it in a unique, rare, or skillful way. You do it for the right people. You do it better than others. And most importantly, people need what you do badly enough to pay for it. There are people who work hard. And there are people who work in a way the world rewards. A man in a village carrying 50 bricks on his head equals effort, but nobody values it because machines can now do it faster. Another person builds a website where thousands of people book services equals value. They did less physical effort, but their idea solves a real problem at scale. Let's say someone makes beautiful paper art. She's been doing it for years. Her hands bleed. She spends hours crafting every piece, but she earns $3 per product. She's tired. She's invisible. She's struggling. Then someone else creates a template on Canva, puts it online, and sells it 1,000 times a day. They never meet a single customer, but their income grows while they sleep. Why? Because one person is chasing perfection, the other is chasing scalable value. Working hard without being valuable is like shouting in a language no one understands. You're screaming, but the world can't hear you. If you want more money, ask yourself this question every single day. How can I become more valuable to more people? Starting today. And not in theory. In skill, in clarity, in service, in problem solving. You become valuable when you know something people need. You can do something people can't do themselves. You can explain it, sell it, deliver it, consistently. You help others save time, energy, emotion, or money. You don't just do, you deliver results. And here's the golden rule of high earners. The faster and better you can solve important problems, the more you will be paid. 3 types of effort that don't create money. Watch out. 1. Blind repetition, doing the same thing every day that anyone else can do. Example, typing simple data entry for 8 hours equals no real value created. That job is easy to replace. Invisible effort, working hard in private without showing the world. Example: studying alone for 6 years without publishing, applying, or producing something. You're preparing forever, but earning nothing. Misplaced effort: helping people who don't pay or working where value is not recognized. Example: building an amazing skill, but offering it in a place where no one sees it, understands it, or respects it. Old you, effort mindset. New you, value mindset. I work 12 hours a day. I create solutions people pay for. I want a raise. I'm going to become too valuable to ignore. Nobody notices me. I'll make myself impossible to miss. Hard work pays off. Smart value creation gets paid instantly. If you want to stop struggling with money, stop asking how to work harder, and start asking how to become more valuable. Because in the real world, money doesn't chase sweat. It chases solutions. And the people who understand that never stay broke for long. Rule 3. Learn skills that make money. Start like this. The income you want is hidden inside a skill you haven't mastered yet. This rule is not optional, because skills are the new money. If you don't have them, you'll be stuck. If you grow them, you'll be free. Let's face it. Most people say, I want to make more money. But they never stop to ask, what skill am I learning that actually creates income? Because school never taught them this. Because culture says, just work hard. Because nobody ever sat them down and said, money is a reward for solving problems. Skills are your tools. Without them, you're powerless. These are skills that solve real-world problems, and people pay to have them solved. Communication, speaking, copywriting, sales. Design, graphic, brand, UX. Coding, web, app, software. Marketing, SEO, email content, ads. Video editing, content creation. English fluency. Teaching, online coaching. Strategic thinking, consulting. Leadership, delegation, systems building. If you don't upgrade your skill set, your dream life will stay a dream. If you don't sharpen your tools, you'll keep swinging at the tree and getting tired without results. A man with a sharp axe can do more in 10 minutes than a man with a blunt stick in 3 hours. People say, I'm not paid enough. The truth? You're not paid based on your effort. You're paid based on the market value of your skill. If you're doing something that 1 million other people can do, you're replaceable. If you're doing something rare, in demand, and powerful, you're paid well. There was a young man who worked as a waiter. He smiled a lot, worked hard, stayed late, but he realized this job had a ceiling. So for 6 months, every night after work, he studied digital marketing on his cracked phone. No fancy course, just free YouTube and blogs. He practiced ads, copy, sales pages. Then one day, he offered to run ads for a local gym. For free. They got 22 new clients in a week. He started charging $300 per month. Then $1,000 a month. Then built an agency. Today, he earns $18,000 per month from a laptop. Same brain, different skill, different life. If you don't learn new skills, you'll keep begging for opportunities. But if you master high-value skills, you'll have people begging to work with you. How to use this rule, even if you're a beginner. Pick one high-income skill, not 10. Focus is freedom. Practice daily, even 30 minutes. Don't wait for perfection. Offer it for free at first. Prove your value. Collect testimonials. Build trust. Raise your price as your skill grows. Build a portfolio. Even 3 simple examples can get you paid. Use English daily to double your reach. Money is not mysterious. It flows to those who solve problems. And you solve problems better when you have rare, useful modern skills. Learn a new skill. Practice it like your life depends on it. Because it does. Rule 4. Money grows where attention goes. If nobody knows you, nobody pays you. You could be the most talented person in the world. You could be skilled, disciplined, consistent. But if no one sees you, hears you, trusts you, or remembers you, you stay broke. And this is the silent tragedy of millions of people. They're good at what they do, but they're invisible in the marketplace. And the marketplace doesn't reward invisible excellence. It rewards visible value. Think about 2 restaurants. One is deep in a side street, incredible food, amazing service, but no board, no Instagram, no delivery apps. It stays empty. The other is average, but it's on the main road. Big signs, beautiful photos, ads on social media. It's full every day. What's the difference? One focused on being perfect, the other focused on being visible. The second one understood this rule. If you want to attract money, you need attention first. In today's world, attention is not optional. It's a form of capital. If you can get people's attention and use it wisely, you'll never struggle with money again. Because attention brings opportunities, trust, clients. Visibility equals credibility equals profitability. So, how do you get attention? You don't have to be loud. You don't have to dance. You just have to consistently show up where people are already looking. That means create content around your skill. Share your progress publicly. Offer value for free, especially at the start. Use platforms like Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. Answer questions, make tutorials, post ideas, show your face, or at least your voice. Because someone is searching right now for exactly what you offer. But they can't find you, because you're hiding. You don't need to be the best. You need to be seen. You need to be trusted. You need to be chosen. And that will never happen. If you're still telling yourself, I'm not ready, or I don't want to post, or I'm not comfortable with people watching me. You don't have to be viral. You just have to be visible to the right people. Invisibility is the enemy of income. Attention is the oxygen of modern money. Don't just be good. Be seen. Don't just work hard. Be discoverable. Because your next big client, your next opportunity, your next jump in income is waiting to see you. But only if you show up. Rule 5. No one's coming to save you. Most people stay broke, not because they don't have potential, but because they're secretly waiting for someone else to change their life. Waiting for a promotion. Waiting for the economy to improve. Waiting for motivation. Waiting for a rich partner. Waiting for luck. Waiting for some magic moment to begin. But the truth is brutal. Nothing changes until you do. The reason you're still stuck financially might not be your job, your parents, your past, or your city. It might be because you're still waiting to be rescued. You're waiting for someone to push you, to believe in you, to give you the chance. But here's the real truth. No one is coming. Not your manager, not your crush, not your government, not your God. I've seen this happen again and again. A boy keeps saying he wants to start a business. He watches every video. He dreams of passive income. But he keeps saying, I'll start after I get some money, after someone helps me, after I feel ready. 3 years pass. Nothing changes. Because he never took full responsibility. Think about the gym. Every January, people flood in, full of motivation. By February, 80% vanish. Why? Because they were relying on motivation, not ownership. They wanted the gym to fix them. They didn't want to own their outcome. Same with money. People want a shortcut, a savior, a secret. What they really need is to say, "It's all on me now." No excuses, no waiting, no blaming. The moment you say, "I don't care who didn't support me. I don't care what resources I don't have. I don't care if I'm not talented yet. I will find a way." That moment is the birth of financial freedom, because you stop looking outside and you start creating inside. That's when your brain starts working differently. Your standards rise, your energy changes, and you stop tolerating poverty like it's a normal way of life. Responsibility is power. The more you blame, the weaker you get. The more you own, the freer you become. Even if something isn't your fault, it's still your responsibility to fix it, because no one will do it for you. Your financial life will begin to transform the day you stop saying, "Why me?" and start saying, "Try me." Stop waiting for luck. Stop hoping someone will come hold your hand. Your power is not in waiting, it's in deciding. Rule 6. Pay the price. You're not broke because you're unlucky. You're broke because you're not paying the full price required to escape poverty. Start with this truth. Every level of life has a cost, not in dollars, but in sacrifice, in time, in pain, in focus, in discomfort. And the cost of financial freedom is higher than most people are willing to pay. That's why they stay poor. Not because they're dumb, not because they're weak, not even because they lack opportunity, but because they keep avoiding the real cost of change. They want a better life, but without leaving their comfort zone. More income, but without learning anything new. A business, but without giving up weekends. Confidence, but without facing failure. Respect, but without doing the hard work consistently. They want the rewards, but not the price tag. But the truth is this: every successful person you've ever admired has paid a price that would break most people. They've walked through years of obscurity, sleepless nights, loneliness, embarrassment, sacrifice, humiliation, deep uncertainty. They paid the price in full, in advance, and in pain. And that's why they're free today. There's a man. He was a school dropout in a small city. He had no money, no connections, no plan B. But he made one decision. I will become a highly paid expert, no matter what it costs me. So for 18 months straight, he locked himself in a cheap rented room. No friends, no parties, no Netflix, no celebrations. He studied copywriting 10 hours a day. He practiced by writing fake ads and breaking down real ones. He rewrote best-selling product pages by hand 50 times each. He stopped eating out, stopped buying clothes. He used all his saved money to buy books and courses. He applied to 50 jobs and was rejected from 47. But he kept going. Every rejection made him better. Every hour alone made him sharper. By month 19, he was making $2,000 per month. By month 27, he crossed $10,000 per month. By year 3, he became one of the highest-paid conversion copywriters in his country. All from a dirty room, with nothing but a broken laptop and a decision to pay the price. He didn't wait for motivation. He didn't chase balance. He didn't care what his relatives said. He just looked life in the face and said, I will suffer now so I don't suffer forever. Now look around. People scroll all day saying, I wish I had what he has. I wish I had that success. But they forget. He was paying the price when no one was clapping. He was bleeding in silence. While others were relaxing, he was sacrificing. And that's the rule of money. You don't get to be rich without paying. You only get to choose. Pay in advance with sacrifice, or pay forever with struggle. Let me explain this in the simplest way. Imagine you want to climb a tall mountain. At the top is the life you want, the view, the peace, the reward. But the climb is hard. It's steep. It hurts. It's cold. You feel alone. That's the price. Most people quit halfway up because the pain is too much. So they go back down and pretend they didn't really want the top anyway. But the few who keep climbing, they don't complain about the pain. They understand. The view from the top is only for those who were willing to bleed to get there. If you're still trying to get a discount on success, if you're still asking for shortcuts, if you're still waiting for balance, you're not ready to be rich. You must pay the full price. In full. In advance. Without complaining. That's the difference between dreamers and doers. And that's why some people stay stuck forever, while others climb out of hell and build a life they never need to escape from. Rule 7. Never enough. Most people don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they settle too early. They get one job and stop learning. They reach one goal and stop growing. They get some money and start spending instead of compounding. They beat one enemy, then fall asleep, and wake up 3 years later wondering where their edge went. They confuse a checkpoint with the finish line, and that's where the fall begins. There was a man who started freelancing in design. For 2 years, he hustled, improved daily, practiced every night, took on low-paying jobs just to build skill and trust. Then one day, it clicked. He got 3 international clients. He made $5,000 a month. His friends called him rich. He called himself successful. So he stopped learning. He stopped improving his skills. He rejected small jobs. He slept in, started scrolling more, got a bit lazy with deadlines, didn't upgrade his systems. At first, nothing seemed wrong, but within months, his best client left him. His portfolio started to feel old. His competitors overtook him. By the time he realized what happened, his income dropped back to $1,000 per month. But this time, it was harder to come back, because he had lost his hunger, not because of failure, but because of temporary success. Growth dies the moment you think you no longer need to grow. If you think, I've learned enough, you'll be destroyed by someone who's still learning. If you think, I'm good at what I do, you'll be replaced by someone getting better. If you think, I'm earning enough now, you'll spend more than you grow and fall back into survival mode. Imagine you're in a boat paddling across a river. You paddle hard for hours. You finally reach the middle. You smile, rest your arms, and stop paddling. But the river doesn't stop flowing. It slowly pushes your boat backward, back to where you started. Not because you weren't strong enough, but because you stopped moving. That's what happens to your skills, your mindset, your discipline, your business, your body, your money. If you stop growing, you don't just pause. You start sinking. Success is not a destination. It's a mindset, a lifestyle, a daily battle. You don't just become rich. You stay hungry, stay sharp, stay humble. The moment you say, I've done enough, you've already started dying. Because money doesn't chase those who want comfort. It chases those who wake up every single day asking, how can I improve today? Even just by 1%, That hunger? That refusal to settle? That obsession with growth? That's what keeps winners winning and everyone else watching. Rule 8. Create a problem. Solve a problem. You don't need to wait for someone to hire you. You can make money by creating a problem people didn't know they had and solving it better than anyone else. The world doesn't just pay you for working hard. It pays you for creating something people didn't know they needed until you showed them. That's how wealth is born. Most people are waiting to be hired, waiting to be picked, waiting for someone else to tell them, here's a job, here's a task, here's your salary. But what if you stopped waiting? What if you invented your own opportunity? That's what smart entrepreneurs do. They don't wait for the market. They create the market. The most successful people don't just solve existing problems. They create awareness of new problems and then sell the solution. That's how Uber, Airbnb, Apple, Canva, and YouTube became giants. People weren't screaming for these services. But once they saw the problem being solved, they couldn't go back. Before iPhones, nobody said, I need a smartphone with one button. But once it existed, we were hooked. Before Canva, people didn't know design could be easy, but when someone showed them, it exploded. This is the skill of the future: problem creation, problem solving, and problem communication. A 21-year-old boy in Africa noticed something simple. In his town, local shops had no logos, no signs, no packaging design, no brand. They just wrote things like fresh milk or mama rice with a paintbrush. He thought, that's a problem. People won't trust what they can't recognize. So he learned basic graphic design on YouTube, practiced logos, posters, simple branding ideas, then walked from shop to shop and said, do you want people to remember your shop forever? I'll give your shop a modern look. Just pay me later if it works. He did free logos for the first 10 stores. People started talking about it. Shop signs improved, sales increased. He created a problem that people didn't know they had and offered a solution that made him money. Now he runs a local design studio, trains kids for free, and sells simple branding services across small towns, all without waiting for a job or a degree. He didn't just find an opportunity, he created one. Let's say you live in a small town. Everyone there sells tea, snacks, or groceries. You notice that. People don't take online orders. Nobody tracks customers. Nobody sells healthy options. There are no birthday kits or student packs. Everyone closes by 8 p.m. Now these are all opportunities in disguise. They are problems that don't feel like problems until someone shines a light on them. If you step in with a system, a strategy, a shortcut, a service, a product, that solves that tiny issue in a valuable way, you've just created a brand new income path. You don't need money to make money. You need eyes that can see problems. You need hands that are ready to build. You need courage to say, I'll be the first one to fix this. And if you can master the art of spotting invisible problems and crafting creative solutions, you'll never need to beg for work again. The market won't just want you. The market will need you. Rule 9. Time is your most expensive asset. You can lose $1,000 and earn it back. You can lose a client and win a better one. You can lose a job and get hired again. But if you waste your time, you're burning the only currency you can't regenerate. And here's the reality most people ignore. Broke people treat time like it's unlimited. Rich people treat time like it's gold. Because time is what turns skill into mastery. Time is what turns effort into freedom. Time is what turns ideas into income. If you waste it, you're choosing to stay behind. Time is your compounding machine. If you give it to learning, creating, practicing, and building, it multiplies. If you give it to scrolling, gossiping, overthinking, and sleeping, it vanishes. And when it vanishes, it takes your dreams with it. Time-wasting habits that keep you broke. Just 5 more minutes. I'll start next week. I'll just watch one video. This gossip isn't hurting anyone. This show helps me relax. I can't work today. I'm tired. Every single one is a lie your lazy brain tells you to keep you broke, average, and easy to control. The way you spend your hours is the way you build your life. Time is more valuable than money, because time creates money. If you want to be rich, don't start by counting your rupees. Start by counting your minutes. Every second you waste, someone else is using it to learn, sell, build, speak, and grow. And 6 months from now, they'll be ahead of you, not because they're better, but because they respected time. And you didn't. Rule 10. Stop trying to look rich. One of the biggest reasons people stay broke is this. They're addicted to looking successful, instead of actually becoming successful. They want to look rich on Instagram. They want people to think they've made it. They buy phones they can't afford, shoes that don't match their bank balance, clothes they wear once but pay for all year, cars they lease to impress people who aren't even paying attention. And here's the ugly truth. Most people you think are rich are actually drowning in debt. They just got good at dressing up their insecurity. You want to know who's really rich? The quiet one building an online store from his room. The girl who wears the same jeans every week but owns stocks. The guy who takes the bus while his savings quietly grow. The woman who skipped 3 vacations but now owns 2 properties. Real wealth whispers. Fake wealth screams. There was a young man who got his first job, $5,000 per month. On the outside, he looked like a rising star. Bought a new phone on EMI. Ate out 4 times a week. Ordered clothes and accessories constantly. Took a weekend trip every 2 months. He never saved, never invested. But his Instagram? Full of filters, resorts, fancy coffee, watches, and grind mode captions. People messaged him, "You're living the dream, bro." But behind the scenes, he was borrowing money from his cousin to pay rent. His bank balance was $100 at the end of every month. And when his company downsized after 8 months, he had nothing. No savings, no skills, no plan. Just the pressure to keep looking like he was winning, while silently collapsing. It took him 2 years to recover, not just financially, but mentally, because the emotional cost of pretending was worse than the debt. Looking rich is easy, but it's also expensive, temporary, and fake. True wealth has no logo, has no audience, doesn't need to shout. It's in your emergency fund. It's in your skills. It's in your cash flow. It's in your ability to walk away from things that don't serve your future. You can impress the world and stay broke. Or you can ignore the world for 2 years and never worry about money again. Stop trying to win the attention of people who aren't paying your bills. Stop chasing dopamine from likes. Start chasing freedom. Because the ones who quietly build while others perform, they win forever. Rule 11. Poor people spend first. Rich people invest first. If you earn $15 and you instantly spend $10 on food, shoes, gifts, pizza, and subscriptions, you've just trained your brain. Every time I get money, I must get rid of it. That habit becomes a pattern. That pattern becomes your lifestyle. That lifestyle becomes your prison. There was a girl who started selling handmade candles online. She made her first $200 profit in 1 week. Excited, she bought clothes, a Bluetooth speaker, and celebrated with her friends. The next week, sales dropped. She had no budget left for new material, no ads, no packaging, no backup. She posted, "Business is hard." But the truth? She didn't invest. She spent. Compare that to her friend, who also started a product business. She made $200 key, but didn't touch it. She reinvested $150 into better photos, packaging, and a domain name. Sales doubled, then tripled. By month 2, she was earning $100 and still living like she had $200. Why? Because she didn't just want to make money. She wanted to build money. Here's how it works. Poor thinking. I made money. I deserve to spend it. Rich thinking. I made money. I need to protect and multiply it. If you can't manage $100, you won't manage $1,000. If you don't respect $50, you'll disrespect $5,000. It's not about how much you earn. It's about what you do with what you earn. Rich people use money as a tool to build more. Poor people use money as a reward for existing. That's the mindset shift that changes your entire life. Every time you receive money, no matter how small, just ask, how much of this can I save, invest, or reinvest? Not, what can I buy? Start small, 10% into a skill course, 10% into savings, 10% into a new tool. Even $20 invested in your business is better than blowing $200 on validation. Poor people see money as a moment. Rich people see it as momentum. Every dollar you keep, reinvest, or redirect toward growth becomes a seed. Every dollar you spend impulsively becomes a lost branch. And if you plant enough seeds now, one day, your money will start working harder than you ever could. That's when you stop trading time for survival and start building a life of real wealth. Rule 12. No one becomes rich by accident. Success is not luck. It's not fate. It's not genetics. It's a system. And systems are built by design. Most broke people believe one dangerous lie. Rich people are just lucky. They think, he got rich because he knew someone. She had supportive parents. He was born in the right country. She got lucky on Instagram. They made it big because they had money to start. But let me tell you something brutal, real, and honest. Every financially free person you admire made decisions you're avoiding. They took actions you're not taking. They sacrificed in silence while others mocked them. They studied while others watched shows. They created while others consumed. They built habits that made them powerful. They invested while others spent. They didn't accidentally build freedom. They designed it like a machine, one small piece at a time. There was a boy who grew up in a small rural town. No Wi-Fi, no rich friends, no big school. His father ran a broken shop. His mother cleaned houses. He had a second-hand phone and used it only after 10 p.m. when the data pack was cheaper. But one thing was different about him. He didn't believe in luck. He believed in systems. He used that phone to watch one English learning video daily, practice freelancing skills at night, write content for imaginary clients, research real businesses, learn how to sell, how to build offers, how to price services. He created a daily checklist, 10 pages reading, 1 pitch to a real business, 1 skill upgrade, 10 minutes of silence for ideas, 1 rejection equals success badge. He treated his growth like a formula, not a fantasy. And within 3 years, that same boy was earning online from multiple clients. And his monthly income was more than what his father earned in a year. No luck, no support, no angel investor, just systems, just repetition, just design. Think of this like building a house. You don't get lucky and end up with a 3-bedroom flat. You follow a blueprint, you buy materials, you build the foundation, you work brick by brick. Success is no different. If you have no daily system, no money plan, no skill-building process, and no long-term goal, then don't expect to accidentally land in a mansion. You'll never see a rich person say, "I don't know how this happened," because they made it happen. You don't get rich by chance. You get rich by choice. And that choice must be made every single day. You must decide what your morning will look like, what skills you'll sharpen, what distractions you'll cut, what time you'll invest, what routines you'll commit to. That's how rich people win. And if you still think it's about luck, that's why you're losing. Rule 13. You are the reason you're still broke, and you are the solution. Until you blame yourself fully, you will never own your full power. People blame everything. They blame their childhood, their job, their parents, their school, their boss, their partner, their location, the economy, even the algorithm. They say, "It's too late for me. I don't have the right connections. I'm not as lucky as them. I don't have the support. I'm not tech savvy. Nobody helped me." But the truth is this: none of that is why you're broke. You're broke because you haven't taken full ownership. And until you do, nothing will change. Because blaming is easy. Ownership? That's hard. That's painful. That forces you to look in the mirror and say, "This is my fault." But that also means, "This is my fix." There was a woman who was 34, divorced, with a 3-year-old child. She lived in a single-room apartment and worked a dead-end job earning barely enough to pay rent. For years, she blamed everyone: her ex, her childhood, her managers, the economy. Until one day she looked in the mirror and said, "I'm tired of blaming. I want to take full control." That day, she wrote one sentence in a notebook: "If I am the problem, then I am also the solution." She started waking up 30 minutes earlier to learn marketing. She watched beginner YouTube videos at night. She used her daughter's nap time to practice writing. She offered to manage a small business's Instagram account for free. Got results, then charged, then built, then scaled. 2 years later, she wasn't just making more money. She was in control of her time, of her skill, of her income, of her confidence. She didn't just escape poverty, she escaped the blame cycle. And that was the real breakthrough. Blame makes you feel good for 5 minutes. Ownership makes you powerful forever. The moment you say, "It's my fault I'm not learning daily. It's my fault I waste time on my phone. It's my fault I don't have a saving system. It's my fault I haven't studied a skill properly." That moment becomes the birth of your new life. Because if it's your fault, you can fix it. But if it's always someone else's fault, you'll never have the power to change it. Your biggest enemy is not the world. It's your excuses. Your greatest asset is not your bank account. It's your responsibility. You are not stuck because of the world. You're stuck because you haven't decided to break yourself out. And when you stop waiting and start owning, that's when everything begins. You have now learned 13 of the most brutally honest, beginner-friendly, and emotionally powerful money rules ever created. But Rule 13? That's where your old life ends, and your new one begins. Because once you stop saying, "It's not my fault," and start saying, "I will fix everything," starting today, that's when you win. If you're still here, that means something inside you refuses to stay the same. That means you're done blaming. You're done waiting. You're done living paycheck to paycheck, not just financially, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And now, you know the truth. Money is not just about numbers. It's about discipline. It's about self-respect. It's about hunger. It's about systems. And most of all, it's about ownership. You have two choices from here. Watch another video and forget everything. Or wake up tomorrow as a new person. Not someone who hopes, but someone who builds, who tracks their time, who learns daily, who creates value, who stops pretending, and starts rising. If that's the version of you you're ready to become, then don't just watch this video, live it. And if this video hit your heart, if you felt something shift inside you, if you whispered to yourself, "This is exactly what I needed," then do one thing. Subscribe to this channel. Because this is not the end of your journey. This is just the beginning. And every week, I'll be right here to remind you of who you're becoming, to teach you how to never go broke again, to help you build the strongest version of your mind, your money, and your life. So hit that subscribe button. And welcome to the most powerful chapter of your life.